Two fat guys in a microphone. Two fat guys in a microphone. Two fat guys in a microphone. Big
All right, I'm Tim,
no
Big
filter.
Talk.
Hey, Paulie, no filter.
All right, on this one, normally we switch out and go back to our logo shirts, but we're on a little rant today. At least I am, and I know Paul.
Tim's on one, but I'll follow through. I got some comments for this one.
Yeah, and what the rant is.
You see the NFL logo there in the field? It's like the sidelines of the field. We're on the sidelines right now.
Yeah, we're on the sidelines.
And who's always on the sidelines?
Sideline reporters.
Sideline reporters, right?
Yeah.
And what does it became? Have you guys noticed in the last few years?
Oh, over the last 10 to 15 years. Because remember, we're a little bit older. So if somebody that's watching this, that's in their 20s, or teens. They're not
so you guys aren't used to what we're used to on the sidelines.
Right.
We're used to John Madden on the sidelines.
Right.
Some big burly NFL guy, ex-players wearing nice fancy suits.
Yeah.
Holding a microphone.
Yeah.
And talking to you. But since in the last probably 10, 15 years, maybe 10 years.
Yeah, and I was for it for some of you had some really some of the pioneers of the women being on the sidelines. We were around for the whole locker room thing when
in the reversed eye glass in the door.
Right.
What was her name? Erin Andrews.
Erin Andrews.
Yeah, with that. We have that one there.
Right.
I mean, she's a veteran of it,
Yeah.
But nowadays,
yeah,
this is his rant, but I'm going to start it.
Okay, you start it.
I'm watching these shows, even when I'm watching ESPN and I'm watching NFL Network, and they got these girls on there in these little mini skirts, real little skirts, and showing their legs and their high heels, and they're talking about play. Look, I'm not saying they don't know what they're talking about, because some of them do. They probably do know some sports. They're either married as athletes, or maybe dating them, or they're just around it all the time.
Well, or played.
They could have played sports. I'm not saying that.
Sports, yeah.
But you know what? I'm a guy, and I'm not. I don't mind a nice set of legs.
Right.
Okay, but not when it comes to my sports.
Yeah.
The commercial, sure. But when it comes to the sports, I want to hear somebody talking about what they know, what they've been in. They've been in the battlefields. They've been in the trenches with the linemen, and they know the sport.
Right.
These girls are just looking pretty, talking about the game. And am I a male chauvinist? Fuck it. Call me that. I don't care.
Well, and asking the dumbest questions. And that's the reason for the rant. And here's
Tim's rant right here.
Here's my rant. It's like, you know what? And it really just, I think threw me over the edge.
We're going to bobblehead him here for you. We're going
thank you. There you go. I like the bobblehead. Stupid green screen. But anyhow, they're interviewing Justin Fields. He just, pulled off a miracle win over the Bengals. Both teams, two teams that suck. But here's the thing. Pam Oliver, one that shouldn't be on the sidelines.
She's been there a long time, too.
And she's been there a long time. And so this arrogant idiot thinks that she has control of this, but they just won. They're emotional. If you played any sport and
adrenaline's flowing
and you pull out a win, and then these stupid reporters want to get over there. They get it. The networks want them there. Yeah. And I'm sure the soft NFL.
It is getting soft.
Yeah. And you got to, you said that. And I'll let you talk about that. But she's been like this, I think, for a long time, because this isn't the first time I've seen it. Just this is the time it set me over the edge. Is that somebody came up during her interview with Justin Fields, which was stupid. What's your emotion right now? Well, what do you think? I'm waiting for a player to sit there and go, what do you think, you idiot? I'm happy I won the game. My adrenaline's going, and I don't want to be here talking to you. You want one of the players one time just to say. I want a player to say that. But another player came up, I think it was one of his receivers, and was congratulating them. They were all excited, and she had this scowl on her face, and she's like, okay, come on, guys. Like, her interview is more important than anything. It's, you know what, Pam Oliver? Your interview doesn't mean jack. We don't care you're interviewing Justin Fields. We know he is excited. He pulled out a win, and you're asking him his emotions. And then they go into this. Then they try to be reporters. Well, with all this talk of the owner coming out and wanting the coach to bench you and well, you're asking this guy these kind of questions after he just pulled out a big win.
I think what you said was right. It's the network that's doing it. They're probably she's got a earpiece in her ear, and they're probably telling her what to say, what to ask, making her look like a fool.
But they're all standard and exactly right. It's a standard question. So tell me, what motions were you going through when you threw that touchdown? It's like, you know what, bitch? I was hoping the guy caught it.
Yeah, right. That's football. That's football, guys.
That was the emotion I was going through. But nowadays, it's yes, I appreciate a sexy, woman. As well. It's not that they're just there for that. I think there is. They do research and things like that. It's just I'm talking on the sidelines. I'm talking this.
Well, mine's in the studio when they're sitting in front of a big board and they're talking about they're giving their picks or something. Look, first of all, why are they giving picks? Our picks are just as bad as theirs, or at least mine are.
Yeah, well, yeah, true.
But I mean, they don't know any more about the sport than we do, or any average person watching it. But the point is they're exploiting these women in these little mini skirts, showing their sexy legs and stuff. And don't get me wrong, most of them are pretty good looking women.
Oh, 100%.
But here's the thing. That's why they're hiring them. I'd rather see a guy that played the game talking to me, telling me what's going on in the game.
Or give me some hefty bag that actually knows, the sport inside and out.
Right.
Not just somebody in earpiece, saying, ask this or ask
they're
them
exploiting
this.
them. They're exploiting them. It's like, I've said this before, and I know, look, I first of all, I love a good looking woman is a good looking woman, period.
100%.
Okay. I said this about women's volleyball.
Oh.
They make them wear these skimpy, I pick them up all the time here when they have the national championships here at the convention center.
Right.
And I've asked the coaches, can't they wear regular shorts? Are they going to play better in those shorts? Somewhere along the line, we started exploiting women, and it started, volleyball, and I'm talking from the young ages.
Yeah.
Young girls are wearing these, they shouldn't be wearing them. They should be wearing normal baggy or shorts or something you don't have to show them off like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I think the only reason I watch beach volleyball in the Olympics is because of now they're damn near in a thong. And some of the countries, they're in a thong.
Yes.
And it's like,
you can't tell me they can't play in regular shorts. They can play in sweatpants. Don't give me that.
Well, and the thing is that then my 8-year-old daughter, which, back in the day,
right.
Thinks that she's got to wear that, type
right.
of thing.
And we're going to piss some guys off out here. They're going to go, shut up. We like watching it. We're not saying we don't either.
We love watching it too. But now every time on the sideline, there's never a guy. And you know what I notice is the ones that are in when they're in other countries, when the football games are in other countries.
Yeah.
Then you start seeing more guy reporters. You see a couple of the women that are there, but not like you do here in the States when the games are played here. And they're sending all the guys to Barcelona or whatever, no sleep and reporting on the game. But it's kind of like this, when you have a newscast, right? And we all have local channels and national channels and all that.
Yeah, we do.
You've got all that. Well, those aren't the people that are giving them the information. They're not digging up the information that they're reporting to you. There's all kinds of a team. They're just delivering it. Why? Because they're a pretty face. Let's say it here.
Right.
I liked Tad Dunbar, but as he gained weight and more weight, he was taking up the whole damn screen, and it's like, and those guys got pushed aside, pushed out, and now it's all pretty much hot people.
I know what the argument's going to be is this. Wouldn't you rather hear her talking than Collinsworth? Because nobody likes Collinsworth.
Yeah.
Every time I hear him call a play, I just picture Madden. I do. I swear. I think he says it just so they can take that clip and put it into a Madden game. I swear. And that's the only thing that bothers me about Chris Collinsworth. But I'd rather hear him talking than seeing these girls on there.
Him and Tony Romo, and these guys talk out of both sides of their mouth.
Tony Romo's good though. He's played the game. He knows the game. He'll call a play before even.
But this guy is blowing, Patrick Mahomes.
Aren't they all? Aren't they all?
It's like, hey, these guys, MVP. Well, yeah, 6 years ago. But it's like,
they played the game.
Yeah,
they actually played the game. So I'd rather hear it from someone that plays the game.
So did Collinsworth, and I can't stand to listen to him. and even Tom Brady is horrible.
Yeah.
You know, he's a horrible announcer.
Yeah.
But it's Tom Brady. So here's the thing: is that you know when you have media, you know
They should have us on there calling a game.
Who's going to watch?
Well,
right?
no. Here's the thing, though. I can sit there and watch a game, and my wife will sit there and watch a game with me, and she will literally. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze here.
Okay. Well, I'll go back to. Okay, go ahead.
So my wife,
what?
she'll literally. I'll call the foul, and before they throw the flag, and she goes, "How'd you know?" I said, "Because I know the game.
Right.
I know. I seen the hold.
Right.
I seen it be, and she's like, that's crazy. How do you know that because I know the game.
Yeah.
So I could call the game. I can call that out. And some of the things they got, we see them. I don't know why we see a different picture than they see at the stadium. These announcers that like Chris Collinsworth is watching a different screen than we are. I can see it instantly if it's in or out of bounds.
Right.
It takes them 20, 15 minutes to do it. Because they got to call Vegas. Should we do this? Is this game? Is this what's how much money's on which side?
You in Vegas, but this isn't about sideline reporters. Let's reel it back in.
Okay, but you see what I'm saying? I know the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I played it in high school. That's it. But
yeah.
I know the game, so I could announce this better than, or I could ask better questions than these women could.
Yeah, and that's what it is, because now it's all about, what emotion are you going through? How are you feeling? What do you say to your guys in the locker room? Down 42-0 to the Bills.
You know what they're saying in the locker room?
Yeah.
Man, you see that reporter on the side? You see that skirt she was wearing? Man, look at the legs on that bitch. That's what they're saying. Let's be honest.
And it's gotten, it's like the male cheerleaders. You don't want to get me started on that, because we don't tune into the game to see male cheerleaders. We don't go to the
Have
game.
you seen any this year? I know they've talked about they were going to have them. Some of the teams have them. Did you even notice any? I've never heard another thing about it.
You know what's really weird is that I think the backlash was so huge that they're not, unless they're a local team, and maybe that's because we're in Nevada and the only local team we have is the Raiders, and they don't have any guys. There's no way a Davis is going to lift it.
Yeah, true.
Is going to have a guy.
Okay, I just wondered, because I know we talked about that on a different show, and I haven't heard anything about that again after we talked about it. We talked about Mikey and that when we had Mikey on there talking about Minnesota was going to have a guy cheerleader. Yeah, I didn't know what happened with that
too.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's that you're bringing this into football, and that again, it's almost like men lose their sports, they're this, they're that. It's got to always be. We've got to be all inclusive, and I'm tired of the all inclusive.
No, we don't have to.
And we don't.
You want women reporters doing women's basketball? All for it.
Yeah,
they probably played the game.
Right.
They know what they're doing, and I've noticed that. I watch women's basketball a lot, and the women reporters used to play, so it's the same thing, but they're already women, so they're not exploiting them in that
exploiting them,
in that
100%,
like they are in the NFL. Bigger stage, and this whole the sideline reporter has just gotten horrible, and it's like, and have you noticed they kind of all have the same look, and I've noticed that just about the generation period. The hair extensions, the blonde hair, the lip filler, this, and this, Do you think them women would have stopped John Madden and asked him questions on the way in from if he was down in a game?
Oh, hell no.
He would have looked at him and go, "Get away from me, bitch." He would have.
Exactly.
The old timers.
And I seen Tomlin kind of be very short with them. And that's what I like about Tomlin. But again, now you've got these guys that are coming up that are coaching in their 30s, early 40s.
But if they don't, they're going to get fined.
Well, and that's
the NFL for you.
And that's why, again, I will say this: until he's fired, Roger Goodell needs to be fired.
This Super Bowl should do him in.
Well,
when the ratings go down.
Exactly, and it's like, listen, like we said in the beginning, we're just saying what we hear. People talk about out there that nobody wants to say out loud. They certainly won't say it on a regular network.
No, because they'd get, oh my God, they're talking about women. They're talking bad about women. Well,
they're sexist, what? They're this, they're that.
Call me that. Yeah. If you want to call me that, you can.
No, these are just the facts.
I love women. I love my mom, my wife, my daughter, my granddaughter. I love women.
Absolutely.
It's about it.
Well, but that's the thing is that, and that's why I wanted to go on this rant about it, is because they're on the sidelines. They're asking these questions that are pre-questions that are just stupid. How many times can you watch the end of a game or going into halftime? One of these reporters, which 99% of them are female now, saying, "What do you got to tell the coach? What adjustments you got to make, coach?" That's not what we want to hear.
Yeah.
You know,
we know what they got to adjust.
Exactly.
They're getting their ass whipped. The defense ain't playing. The corners aren't watching the edges.
Exactly.
I mean, that's part of football. We know what they're doing.
What do you tell your team, Dan Campbell? You know, It's like, you know what? Those questions need to go, and it does not help the game.
I like when they win the Super Bowl or the World Series and they're in there and they're taking their shirts off and the girl reporters are in there and I'm going, they shouldn't be in there.
Right.
They really shouldn't be. These guys are in there in towels and here's these reporters in there.
Right.
Get them out of there. Get them out of there.
Yeah. And we went through that, you know, the generation to follow didn't go through that, but when women were pushing to get in there, it's like, oh, you're being sexist, oh, you're being discriminatory. It's like, you know what, it's a men's locker room.
It's a men's sport, men's locker room.
And do you remember this? I don't know if you remember this, but then all of a sudden there's a lawsuit, and I remember this clearly, that there was a woman in there, some dumb player, of course you're gonna get that, it's a locker room, you know, said something to a female and she felt, you know, whatever, and then there was a lawsuit for it, you know, and it's like, now it just ruins the authenticity of what we grew up with.
Right. It takes away from what's real. We can't get the real because they're there and they got to tiptoe around them.
Right. And it's
enough tiptoe. I love in the beginning of the games when they're throwing the ball around, the punter's kicking the ball and the ball hits one of the reporters. I'm like, yes, good for them. They took a ball to the head.
I like to see the sideline guys, not the stick guys, because they're out there.
I hate when they get knocked over when they're not paying attention.
You hate it?
I hate that. Here's the thing. They got a job. They got to stare. They sit there and they stare away from the field. And now, so you know, they're getting rolled up on. An older guy that's sitting there.
Yeah, he got.
I mean, I get it. They're watching the crowd and all that, but I feel bad for them guys. One time, I'll tell you the backstory. Green Bay Packers. Yeah. James Starks, the running back.
Yeah,
he was from Niagara Falls, my hometown.
Okay,
I watched him knock a guy. I mean, knocked him right off his feet. Bam! I mean, literally should have broke every bone in this guy's body. And he stopped and he picked him up. And I remember rewinding it, recording it on my phone, and putting it on my Facebook page to say, this is what Niagara Falls people are like. That look at he took the time to go help the guy up and everything. Right. I've seen a lot of them knock him over and just run back on the field.
Right. No,
not James Starks. James Starks, he stood there, he helped him up, he made sure he was okay. And then that's right there. You can't, that's teaching a kid the right way.
Right. You know, I get it. I guess it's the other, now, if you got a security guy that gets hit because he's facing the stands, because in case someone
they have to.
Well, then, yeah, of course. But I've seen a lot too where they're not paying attention.
Yeah, but can't somebody warn? Hey, watch out! Here they come. Then they can start looking a little bit. They don't even warn them. They're playing. They're just on their asses.
Yeah, well,
quick.
You and I have different things behind that. I like to see them get taken out.
Do you see? Nah, that's mean. That's mean.
But anyways,
I have a heart. See, nice people in Niagara Falls. Man.
Yeah, here you go. Squirrel again. You know, we're on 40 different subjects. This is about sidelines.
That's sidelines. There's sidelines guys getting knocked over.
Yeah, that's not what this is about.
What about the water boy? What about the water boy, the Gatorade guy?
Yeah, well, that guy's behind the benches. He's back by the Gatorade. What do you think? But I do like that when they pour the Gatorade over the coach and the sideline reporters there. I do like that.
When they get wet. Oh, yeah, they splash all over them. Hey, it's part of the game. You don't like it? Don't wear your best blouse.
Well, and don't be a sideline reporter. But yeah. But back to the nuts and bolts of this is circle you back around, get you focused.
Go ahead.
Is
no
that
filter?
You know, that's my point. And then for these, and I'll call out Pam Oliver every single day of the week because she's done this on several Monday Night Football games where she'll go up, you know, or on a Sunday night, depending on where she's at, and think that her interview and her questioning is more important than what just happened in that game.
I have some friends. My buddy Al, at the sports book Bonanza, he's always there. Yeah. Al knows, and he knows every one of them female reporters' names. I couldn't tell you one for $1 million right now, Tom. On air, I couldn't tell you one of the reporters except for the one that Erin Andrews. That's the only one I know.
Right,
She's been in it for a long time, and that whole scandal thing with that was how I know her. Other than that, I couldn't name one of them. Okay, he knows every one of them. And here's the thing: I can tell you who, like Randy Moss is because he played the game. I can tell you who the coach, the one you were talking about, he coached the Bills and the Dolphins and the.
Dan Campbell?
No, the other one. old gray hair guy, new teeth.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson.
No, not Jimmy Johnson, but he's another one. He's another one.
Okay.
Like the one that had the tattoo of the Bills on his arm. We were just talking about
Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan. There it is. Sorry, I drew a blank. Like I know who Rex Ryan is when he's on there. But when these girls come up, I couldn't tell you one of their names. I don't care. I really don't even pay attention or take the time to learn any of the names because I really don't. They shouldn't be up there.
Yeah.
So but I know them guys because they played the sport.
Right.
I know you got Mossed.
Right.
Because it's Randy Moss. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I think that just shows where the NFL is today. And they try to sit there. You got some brainiac, number cruncher in the back going, oh, well, to get more of these viewers, we need to have male cheerleaders. To get more of these viewers.
So for us to get more views on this, should we bring in some cheerleaders and some hot chicks to sit here and talk, give us, pump us up a little bit for the show?
Yeah. If we did that, they wouldn't even know who we were.
Well, that's okay. If we get more subscriptions and all that, hey, what the hell?
Right.
We'll do that.
So that's just something to think about. How do you, next time you watch a game, watch those interview questions, whether it's halftime or at the end of the game, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Every single one. And I agree with you. I think it's a network thing, but still, if the networks are doing this, then the networks, need new leadership. And we've always thought that for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's the end of my rant.
I put that on there. So we got there. It says like and subscribe on there. I got that on there for us.
Okay. Like and subscribe. We're going to tell you about our sponsor right now, Johnny over at Elite Garage Door. If Downsy here can get the card up there, so you can see
I'm getting good at this. I'm getting good at this. Look at this.
Look at that, Elite Garage Door. We love you, Johnny. Thank you for being a sponsor here. Why don't you tell them a little bit about it? What's the number and
the phone number? It's a local number here in Reno. It's 775-323-DOOR. Easy. And if you can't spell door, it's 775-323-3667. Give them a call. They do great work. They'll come out. They'll give you free estimates and
go see.
Get some service done before winter comes. Winter's coming.
Right, winter's coming, and you don't want your garage door to break down because that's when parts start breaking down. Is in the winter, just like your car.
Yeah,
garage door's no different.
Right.
So with that, we're going to play you some music and head out. And hope you enjoyed the show.
All right, we're going to get to that here.
Oh yeah,
I'm getting good at it, but I'm not that quick.
You are getting good at it. And I wrapped this up a little bit. I didn't do the 30 seconds or whatever, but
we still got time if you want to talk.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Hey, you guys enjoy yourself. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah.
We've got over 8,000 views already.
Yeah, so
I've seen on there. So
we're
doing good.
Yeah,
we need some more subscribers. There. We want you guys to spread the word, and tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
And here's the music.
All right.
Two fat guys in a microphone. Two fat guys in a microphone. Two fat guys in a microphone. Big talk.
All right.
No filter.